Welcome back to the Thrive 45 Method podcast with me, your host, nutritionist Stacey Nicole Smith. And this is the space where we talk all things weight loss and wellness for the woman in perimenopause and menopause. Now, let's get started with today's episode. Hey guys, what's up? All right, welcome back. So to hear you are not losing weight after 40, and it is not about calories. And this is a big one because I know when we have started to gain weight, we're trying to lose weight, the natural thing to do that we revert to is to drop calories lower and lower, because that's what we've been told for years, that it's simply, burn off more than you take in. Right? Like a simple math equation. But here's the thing. Our hormones, in fact, do change as we're going into perimenopause and, of course, then menopause. And for most women, it starts around in our 40s, some women a little bit earlier, some women a little bit later. But nonetheless, you may have realized or already noticed that maybe you haven't changed anything and you seem to be gaining weight out of nowhere and you can't understand it or explain it. Or maybe you have gained some weight and you're trying to lose it doing the things you used to do, which is usually reducing calories. And maybe it worked for you before and it's not working anymore. And so this is where women get frustrated thinking it's inevitable, it's not going to work, I'm not able to lose weight anymore. But that's simply not true. What is true is that our hormones are changing, and so we must change our approach with them. The good news is this does not involve overly restricting. So one of the issues that I see with a lot of women, because usually the women I work with are not women who have not tried anything and they're just starting their weight loss journey for the first time ever. Most women I work with feel like they've tried everything and it's not working and they're frustrated. And so a lot of what we have to do too is wrap your mind around the fact that it's not a calorie issue, because again, that's what we're used to. When we go into perimenopause with these hormonal changes, and you may have noticed you're gaining weight out of nowhere, or you may have noticed the things you used to do to lose weight are no longer working, like counting calories. The reason it's no longer working is because it is not a math equation. It is a signaling issue at this age. So when our hormones start to shift, namely estrogen starts to fluctuate and decline, progesterone starts to decline, our cortisol, stress hormone, starts to go up. We become more sensitive to blood sugar swings. So what we need to focus on at this age is hormonal health. Now, this is really important to understand and to wrap your head around. You cannot starve yourself into hormonal health. You cannot starve yourself into hormonal health. So if your hormones are a little bit out of whack, dropping your calories lower and lower, if your body's not getting the right signals, it's still going to store them as fat. So what we need to do instead is we need to go in and correct those signals so that your body is signaling to burn your food off as fuel and to burn excess body fat off as fuel and energy as well. So we just need to go to the root and change the signaling. And again, this is really hard for a lot of women to wrap their heads around, because generally when they work with me, I'll take a look at what they're eating right now. And a lot of times we need to increase it a little bit with certain meals. And women are scared to do that because they think it's a calorie issue, because that's what we've been told. But when it's done properly, your body's going to start signaling again. So you're going to have that hormonal health. So it's going to signal properly to you when you've had enough to eat. So your hunger hormones will start signaling properly. It's going to start signaling properly when you fuel your body properly for hormonal health. It will signal to you properly so you do not have food cravings. And it will signal to you properly that it's okay to release that fat and burn it off as fuel. So when our estrogen and progesterone are fluctuating and declining, and it's affecting our cortisol, stress hormone, stress is the one famously known for putting fat right on the belly, that menopause belly, right? Cortisol is closely affected to, or closely associated to blood sugar. Blood sugar, insulin. Insulin is a fat storage hormone. So I hope you're starting to see this is not a calorie issue, it's a signaling issue. When you get the signaling properly, first of all, I don't focus on calories ever, but when you get the signaling done properly, there's literally no need to focus on calories anyway, because your body's going to signal properly when it's had enough to eat. So you're going to stop when you're full. Your body's going to signal properly that you don't have unnecessary food cravings. And your body's going to be operating and thriving because it's utilizing the food that you're giving it as fuel properly. And it's going to feel safe enough to let go of that stored fat and release it. And that's how proper weight loss happens at this age. You have to eat enough because, ironically, under eating, guess what that does? It increases cortisol. So the very thing you're trying to do, which is lose weight through restriction, is actually working against you, which is a bit of a mind F, if you know what I mean. So mindset is a piece here, guys. You got to know the proper strategies, but then you got to trust the process. And then when you start to see results, it becomes easier to trust the process. But in the beginning, you're like, oh, no, that's too much food. I can't have it. I'm going to gain weight. But you got to trust if the timing of the meals are proper and the composition of the meals are proper, it's going to give your body the right signals. So you'll release the weight, but not only that, you're going to feel a heck of a lot better. You'll have better digestion. You'll have better energy levels. You'll have clearer thinking, better sleep. It's all interconnected. And so when we're doing things like a calorie deficit model and counting calories, that's like trying to put a Band-Aid on something, whereas you could get in and correct it from the inside out. That's what we want to do, because that's going to give you lasting results. And it's going to give you something you can sustain because you're eating proper all the time. So, when we undereat, that increases cortisol. When we increase cortisol, that gets fat to stay on the belly. When we increase cortisol, that again is related to our blood sugar, which is related to our insulin, which is our fat storage hormone. So when you're undereating, you're actually saying to your body to store fat. Wild, right? But that's why you may be thinking you're doing everything right, but nothing's working. Because undereating is not allowing your body to signal properly. In fact, it's signaling the wrong way. It's signaling to store fat. So I'm just going to go through that real quick one more time, because it's really important you understand this. You cannot starve your way to hormonal health. Our hormones are changing at this age. Fact. Just fact. So we've been working against them. We're under eating, we're dieting harder, we're thinking if I just try harder, it'll work. No, it works against you, and hence the frustration. So you got to take a deep breath. You got to work the exact right strategy, which is not overly restricting. And when done properly, your body will send signals to release stored fat. When you undereat, that is causing stress on your body. Our bodies are less resilient to stress at this age. That's increasing cortisol. It's keeping fat on the belly, and it is messing with our blood sugar, which is sending a signal to insulin, which is a hormone that's a fat storage hormone. So undereating at this age is literally signaling to your body to store fat. Wild. So, I hope that helps you guys. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. I've been doing this for a long time, and I have found that most women fall into one of three predictable weight loss resistance patterns. So most women, I hope I just opened your mind to understand that under eating and overly restricting calories and food is working against you. I hope that makes sense. And so I created a quiz to help you find out your weight loss resistance pattern. So it'll help you have some understanding of why your body seems to be holding on to this weight as a woman over 40. And it'll give you some clarity so that you're not relying on this generic advice that is made for 25 and 30-year-old bodies. And the only reason it's working back then when we were younger is because our body's a lot more resilient at that point. It's a lot more sensitive now. And that's okay. It is what it is, and we should be grateful to be getting older, but we just need to learn to work with it. You cannot starve your way to hormonal health. You've got to fuel your hormonal system properly so it signals properly. Weight loss at this age is not a math equation of calories in versus calories out. It is a signaling and communication issue. So we just have to fuel our hormonal system with what it needs so that it will release stored fat and it will continue to use the food that we give our body as fuel very, very efficiently and help to make your body a fat burning machine. So if you want the quiz, it's totally free. It takes 2 minutes. It's going to help to give you some clarity on what your weight loss resistance pattern may be so that you're not frustrated and you can get some clarity. You'll also get an email when you get your quiz results, and it's going to lay it out for you what's going on in your system based on your answers. So just be truthful in the answers. If you want the quiz for free, comment below quiz, or you can send me a private DM with the word quiz. I will happily send it to you. You can also find it right now at the first link in my bio, and you can grab it for free there as well. Anyway, hope that helps you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye. Thanks for listening. I hope you found this episode helpful. If so, please be sure to like and subscribe to be notified when new episodes are released. Episodes like this are released weekly for all things weight loss and wellness for the woman in perimenopause and menopause. And for other ways I can help you, please be sure to visit the show notes or visit my bio. Thanks for listening. Bye.